Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series and the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. We are finishing the month of April and going into the month of May next week, although there is a missing week in May. The first May program is, I believe, the 11th or something like that. So there's some missing time in May. Here in World Class. There are only 3 episodes available in May. But today, April 27th, 1985, getting ready for the process of the stadium show in a couple of weeks. One-man gang facing off in another squash match, this time with Mr. Ebony. Mr. Ebony, a masked wrestler. They seem to like those around here. Kind of in a red, white, and blue mask and body outfit. Gary Hart very happy with his investment in the gang and ultimately kind of sees the gang as indestructible. Should be interesting to see how long that lasts. But gang, does basic one-man gang style stuff, brawling, shots and punches, forearms mainly. Sends Mr. Ebony to the outside of the ring and slams Ebony onto the ringside steps along the way, taking no care and giving none about the future of Mr. Ebony's career. But a quick victory for the gang. Only takes about 3 or 4 minutes for him to take the whole match out, and gang kind of waits patiently for Ebony to roll back into things, and he's not particularly happy with having to wait, but hits a clothesline, then hits a splash from the, I believe, second rope. So big man in flight, and the one-man gang gets things going in his direction before hitting actually a diving forearm type splash, and 3 count there, as is to be expected. One-man gang with an easy victory, headed to the Texas Stadium in a couple of weeks, and maybe some challenges coming his way. Then we've got an interview with Sunshine. Sunshine been saying for weeks that she's been wanting to bring new talent in, and she does bring a new person into her stable, and that is the returning great Kabuki. Haven't seen Kabuki in probably, less than a year probably, but not too much less. His alignment with Hercules could be interesting. Hercules and Gino Hernandez up next as adversaries, and Hercules goes right to work on Hernandez. Oddly enough, Hercules uses the Hernandez last name because it is his last name, but they are, I don't think, related. Basically we see Hercules using power moves early, big back body drop on Gino. Gino begs off and is not liking being in there with Hercules at all. So, in any event, Hercules willing to go outside the ring and brawl if need be, and he feels that need may in fact be. Obviously, Chris Adams is somebody to worry about. Big shoulder tackle from Hercules as well. Hercules does take it to the mat, although not what he's known for. Obviously, he's primarily a power guy and exerts power going forward here. We do kind of see the stall around and the pull of the tights to pull Hercules out of the action and onto the floor for a minute here. Hernandez tries to break things down, get things going his way with a reverse chinlock / choke. Does not entirely go the way that is intended, but we see Adams make his way down and, interfere in the match when things get going too hard for Hernandez, but Gino, that is. We do continue to see sunshine at ringside. The 2-on-1 continues until we do see Kabuki make his way out to the aid of Hercules. What an odd tandem that is. But speaking of odd tandems, we've got one in a tag team match on the heels of redeciding the champions. This particular odd pairing is Brian Diaz and Scott Casey versus the Midnight Express. Cornette probably not happy in story anyway about the idea of Diaz being a guy who he has to deal with, and Casey being a guy he has to deal with on the heels in a couple of weeks of the big title match. But Bobby and Dennis, beautiful Bobby and Dennis Condrey, bring a good match even out of these guys. I mean, they really do kind of bring good matches out of everybody. Obviously, if you're not familiar with the Midnight Express or you're a newer fan, still can't believe there would be fans that don't know who the Midnight Express are. But I suppose if you're a fan of the last 30 years, you may not. If you're not a person to study tag team wrestling history. Anyway, Bulldog out of the corner by Casey on Loverboy Dennis, and the baby faces are dominant during the first little while. Casey actually holds his own here better than is expected, and Diaz does the same. Although it seems like Casey's more the power guy. I don't know if they're going to be a long-term team or just something short-term. The back off and tag into the corner by beautiful Bobby Eaton. Dennis comes back in, and Bobby holds the leg for a minute. If you're watching AEW and wondering where kind of the double team moves come from, a lot of the double team moves for the Dax and Harwood, anyway, the current AEW tag team champions come from the Midnight Express and the Brainbusters. So if you want to know your history, going back and watching the Midnight's probably a good plan here. Dennis does slow things down quite a bit and cuts the ring off on Casey. Casey takes the majority of punishment. Diaz, the quicker of the two. Casey, the stronger of the two for the baby faces. Bobby and Dennis will do just about anything to get things going in their way, in a way that works, and big suplex into the ring and get things going there. But needless to say, there is a toss to the outside, and Dennis tries to get his team a little bit of an extra advantage, and then cranks down with a chin lock, front face lock, when Casey makes his way back in. Diaz comes back. Bobby Eaton not happy, and Diaz cleans house on both guys, running wild and going nuts. But then we do see the Midnight Express finally do gain a victory. Diaz taking the fall after going wild. It is the tag team acclimate of the Express that leads to that. The victory for the Midnight Express, and obviously, a crossbody in everything, kind of break things up from the outside. Dennis comes at it, and the attempted hard shot, and but Bobby misses. It is Jim Cornette's tennis racket that gets the final victory, though, regardless. And then we go to a match that must be from a different arena, because I can't imagine they go back to back. Loverboy Dennis in a singles match with Kerry Von Erich, and obviously that is a match of interesting notice. Supposed to be Chris Adams versus Kerry, but Adams has been laid open by Kevin Von Erich, and so there's anger and danger there. Chris Adams is not happy with being laid open at a live event, and Loverboy Dennis in there with Kerry. one of the few times we see interactions between the Von Erichs and the Midnight Express. Series of drop kicks by Kerry, three of them, and Dennis goes to the outside. Obviously, he actually, I guess the drop kick's such a big thing that Kerry ends up doing four when number four when Dennis rolls back in. Dennis tries to slow the match down a little bit. That doesn't go quite according to Kerry's plan, to say the very least. And then we see a leapfrog and a big clothesline on receiving end from Dennis, but Kerry out the back door. Kerry does get a victory, as we also see Street Clothes Bobby Eaton on his way out, and the Midnight Express are handled, but once and for all, we do see Kerry get a victory here, and things not going exactly the way everybody wants them to go. Needless to say, Kerry and Brian Diaz in Street Clothes are out to defend, or Kevin and Brian Diaz are out to defend Kerry from a multi-person attack. We close with a very basic promo from the Von Erichs addressing the dynamic duo of Gino Hernandez and Chris Adams, as well as the one-man gang. Basically, in shortest form, they're going to handle all of them coming up at Texas Stadium. It's gonna be Von Erich Mania, and Kerry not happy, Kevin not happy with the chaos that's running wild, and the one-man gang and Kerry going to go at it at the stadium. And we're mere weeks away from that. We'll be back with more action right after this.